Hello everyone, today is Tuesday, October 29th, and this is Theme Week, so let's keep it going with another Halloween story. It was late on a cold autumn evening when 5 knights returned to the Moose Manor from a long day of questing. 4 of the knights, Miss Moon, Mooseman, Bee-Bear, and Glitch, were dragging a treasure chest in out of the cold. And that guy had been behind them as they approached the castle, but was somehow already passed out in the corner when they entered. "I sure am glad we found this treasure chest," said Moose. "Yes," said Moon. "It's a good thing we stopped for that nature check." They were about to open the treasure when Bee-Bear said, "It appears to have something engraved on it." "Convenient timing," said Glitch. They hoisted the treasure chest onto the table. Or rather, they attempted to hoist it 665 times, and then built a robot to hoist it for them. Once the chest was on the table, they read the inscription. It read, "Warning, do not open this box. We seriously don't want you to open it, so we're not going to be vague. We're going to actually tell you what's in it and what will happen, so that you will understand to not open it. This box contains an evil spirit. If you open it, the spirit will possess a living being and will begin raising the dead to do its evil bidding. Do not open it. And if you do, don't say we didn't warn you." "Well," said Bee-Bear, "that settles that." Then they all sat down to watch TV and completely forgot about the treasure chest until later that night. After a few hours of television, the 4 knights had dispersed to doing their separate tasks, when suddenly that guy stirred from his sleep. "Hey, what did I miss?" he asked. Then, as Moose began recounting every second of the hours of television he'd just seen, that guy wandered over to the treasure chest. "Hey, have you guys checked out the loot yet?" "No," said Glitch. "It contains an evil spirit, so we're not going to open it, and that goes for you too." "Okay," he said. "It's not like I want an evil spirit loose in here anyway." Then, after everybody else returned to what they were doing, there was a knock at the door. "No one's gonna get that?" that guy asked. "Okay." Then he walked across the room and opened the door. To his surprise, he saw a gremlin standing in the doorway, and without a word, the gremlin walked across the room and opened the treasure chest. Suddenly, there was a great whirlwind of black smoke over the box. Everybody began panicking, except the gremlin, who just walked right back out the door. "ATG," the other knights shouted in unison. "What have you done?" "Don't blame me, I was on the other side of the room," he shouted. "It was that freaking gremlin. You cannot tell me that none of you saw it." When the whirlwind stopped, the black smoke took the shape of a large ghost with glowing red eyes. Then, as the knights were busy running back and forth across the hallway through different doors, like you do when being chased by any monster, the spirit took possession of the nearest living being, which was a potted sunflower. The knights stopped their running when the ground began to tremble. "It's an earthquake," everyone shouted. "The castle is going to cave in." The 5 knights ran outside, only to find that the trembling was caused by zombies, forcing their way out of the ground. "I knew I shouldn't have built the manor on that ancient zombie burial ground," said Moose. "Oh, you," said everyone else. They turned toward the castle, only to see that zombies were already inside and were now coming toward them, carrying the evil sunflower. They turned away and began running until they reached the road. "Okay, so what's the plan?" asked Bee-Bear. "I call dibs on the chainsaw hand," said Moose. "Where's Sydney?" "Here she is," said Miss Moon, revealing her magical pet owl. "Sydney," she said, "conjure forth a chainsaw from within your bowels." Then, as Sydney did in fact cough up a chainsaw, and that guy shouted, "Look!" They all turned to see the gremlin sitting at the side of the road. Upon noticing them, the gremlin jumped to his feet and began running away. Before the others could react, and that guy grabbed the chainsaw and ran after the gremlin. And so the others began fighting off the zombies that had reached them. They each looked out for their ZA buddies, using more weapons from Sydney and everything they had learned from zombie movies. It was shaping up to be a pretty good zombie apocalypse. Then there was a flash of lightning, and a horrific storm cloud was seen overhead. But it was no common storm. It was conjured by the evil sunflower who had just reached the Knights. The zombies set the potted sunflower on the ground. The sunflower had glowing red eyes and 2 large leaves coming from the base of the stem, the ends of which were rolled into fists. The Knights had no idea how to fight it, especially with the zombies still coming at them from every direction. It was just beginning to look hopeless when the robot, who was built to lift the treasure chest, suddenly appeared. What happened next was the most epic battle in history. The Knights kept the zombies at bay while the robot and Sunflower fought in slow motion. The fight lasted all night. Just as the sun was rising over the horizon, the robot finally punched the evil Sunflower to death. It fell to the ground and began to wither, and all of the zombies fell with it. The Knights and the robot were happy to be alive and done with the evil before breakfast. They went back into the castle and found and that guy passed out in the corner. They were preparing breakfast and setting the table when there was a loud bang at the door. They all stopped and looked, except and that guy, who was woken by the sound, but didn't know where he was. There was another loud bang as the door was kicked open. To everyone's surprise, it was the gremlin, and he was wearing the chainsaw as a hand. He ran inside and leapt across the room toward the Knights. The robot thought fast, because he's a robot. He grabbed the open treasure chest and held it in front of the gremlin. As the gremlin flew into the chest, the robot snapped it closed and everyone cheered. Then, to ensure that the gremlin never caused such trouble again, they changed the inscription on the box and fed it to Sydney, the magic pet owl. And all of the Knights had gained so much experience on that night that they all leveled up. The end.